Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this exclusive live session with CA Bimal Jain. First of all, I would like to wish all of you a happy CA Day and GST Day. So today we have with us on this very special occasion, CA Bimal Jain. Sir needs no introduction, but I would still like to say something about him. So he is a member of ICI since December 2006, and he has over 21 years of experience in working with various renowned companies. Currently, he is the executive director of A to Z Tax Corp LLP, which is a boutique indirect tax firm, and he's also the chairman of the Indirect Tax Committee of PhD Chamber of Commerce. As you all know, Sol has worked towards spreading awareness and knowledge about GST by writing articles, books, and publishing various videos on the topic. He has also been very kind in taking a course at CA Club India, the GST certification course. So welcome to CA Club India, sir. And just a quick disclaimer for the participants. This is a live Q&A session, so you can post all your queries about CA, GST, finance, or career in the comment section below, and sir will be answering the same after the speaker session. So over to you, sir, now.
At the outset, let me thank each one of you who are joining today. Happy CA Day and happy GST Day. It's a day when we recall how we passed our CA exam, and from GST perspective, it is 4 years of GST journey as on date. There are a lot of things which we can deliver and discuss today. Objective age, maybe 15-20 minutes. I'm going to deliver on GST, and thereafter we can have open house question answer session. You can ask anything, whatever you want to ask, and I will try to give my answer to your satisfaction. If I look at GST, the way we got started on July 1, 2017, it was started with big hope, one nation, one tax, one market tagline. And rightly so, if you look at GST, it is subsuming multiplicity, subsuming multiple taxes, 17 indirect taxes and 23 cess merging into one basket, a real benefit to all of us together. Otherwise, different taxes under central, different taxes under state, lot of compliances pan-India. Even under VAT regime, you will amaze to know that respective state was having their state VAT provision, and which was not applicable neighboring state. So multiplicity gone, 17 indirect taxes and 23 cess gone. Second, we were having a double taxation issue. Double taxation means the same transaction were chargeable to service tax and VAT both together. And the prominent example would be restaurant services. If you recall pre-GST era, and if you have gone to restaurant for taking lunch and dinner, even McDonald's, some veg burger, 30 rupees veg burger was chargeable to VAT and 40% were chargeable to service tax. Construction, right to use, lot many services were chargeable to both the taxes together. Double taxation at least gone in GST because we got Schedule 2, which is classifying a supply can either be supply of goods or supply of services. Better off. Cascading of taxes, tax on tax. Pre-GST, central taxes, central excise credit was not available to the VAT dealer. Similarly, VAT charged by a VAT dealer to a service provider, credit was not available, vice versa. Lot of taxes, CST, luxury tax, entertainment tax, octroi credit was not available. To certain extent, this cascading is gone in GST. I do agree that it is continuing on 5 petroleum product, for which GST Council has to decide. Unless these 5 products comes in GST net, cascading continues on those 5 petroleum products which is being used by manufacturing sector and service sector. Alongside, we got a negative list block credit. It was not supposed to be, but it is a part of GST Act under Section 17, subsection 5. And that is creating blockage, cascading. And now last, which was added advantage and foremost advantage. I normally say GST law is a Gita, Bible and Quran. For simple reason that if I'm practicing in Delhi, I can do practice GST. I can understand GST law pan-India from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Because the same law going to be applicable irrespective of any language, any religion, any caste. So this is the added advantage. That's the reason it is being called one nation, one tax, one market. Now, having said all these advantages, last 4 years journey, where we are and where we are heading for, what are the things we all are looking into? If you look at last 4 years, GST is still evolving. I do agree, lot of ups and downs, but that is what the biggest indirect tax reform all about. Government is trying to make changes, and their intention to make changes to provide simplicity, ease of business, but sometimes it is going contrary and becoming uneasiness, and complexity is going up day by day. So still, if you look at and you want to give your observation on GST, I'm sure that a lot of you will agree with me. Yes, intention is very good. GST going to remove cash economy and want to create more organized sector. And we have to really go and adopt GST in a way it was envisaged. But nevertheless, I'm going to highlight some of the issues which I still feel government must look into. Without looking these objective, the ultimate purpose of GST looks like we have to wait and watch. The first one, I said 17 indirect taxes merge into one basket. So multiple taxable event got subsumed, like manufacturing, like provision of services, like sale of goods. Now it is supply. But the way term supply is being defined in GST law, it is again supposed to create lot of litigation for the country. First of all, the term supply is subjective because the definition start like this: supply includes, without defining what is supply, and an inclusive definition that is giving wide power within the definition, and that is subject to divergent interpretation. First part. Second part, GST law, we have seen that it is not giving certainty, and the kind of retrospective amendment government is introducing, that is also giving hint that such retrospective amendment is not good for the taxpayer and not good for GST as well. I can highlight 2 examples here. Section 7, subsection 1, subclause AA, which is being introduced in this Union Budget 2021, and that too retrospectively from July 1, 2017 to done away Calcutta Club Supreme Court judgment, services by club to its members. Now the problem is, when Honorable Apex Court has said and relied on principle of mutuality, no service tax leviable, why by way of retrospective amendment? From July 1, 2017, we want to done away the ruling of Apex Court, Supreme Court. Not advisable, not advisable. But that is how this subclause AA introduced in Finance Bill 2021. I can give you another example of retrospective amendment, our transitional credit. The credit which was lying on 30th June 2017 to be transferred into GST regime by way of filing Tran 1. But we all know that for a lot of region, we could not submit our Tran 1 on that GSTN common portal. So many technical glitches. A lot of litigation started in different high court. If you pick up Delhi High Court judgment in the case of Brand Equity Treaties Limited, it is being held that Rule 117 of CGST rule is directory in nature. It cannot take away, cannot forfeit your vested right, but cannot go in perpetuity also. Hence, say 3 years residue clause as per the Limitation Act going to be applicable for transitional credit. Bombay High Court, Nalco Limited, divergent judgment. Even the judgment has gone to Supreme Court. Some of the cases are being upheld by Honorable Apex Court. Why government then doing retrospective amendment in section 140 and saying in such time and manner prescribed? So after the judgments are coming out, to done away with the judgment, they are making retrospective amendment. This is not good. Taxpayer needs certainty and clarity, and it is after all vested right of a taxpayer. Can you take away vested right of a taxpayer when we talk about good and simple tax? Coming to the third point, there were 3 transactions within supply falling under Schedule 3. Schedule 3, which is neither a supply of goods nor supply of services. High sea sell, merchant trading outside India, and inbound sell. These 3 transactions got inserted in para 7 and 8 of Schedule 3 from 1st of February 2019. Prior to that, Government GST Council has clarified the matter that these are not chargeable to GST, and GST Council has recommended the same. But what is happening? This amendment was clarificatory in nature and should have been applicable from July 1, 2017. But now at field level, at the ground level, department is raising so-called notice on these 3 transactions prior to 1st February 2019. How come? These are not chargeable. You cannot levy tax on same. So basic understanding at the field level is sometimes challenging for all of us together. If I go a step further, the understanding, the way GST law is being drafted, a very recent issue of intermediary, chargeability on intermediary. In Bombay High Court, in Dharmendra M. Jani case, 2 members of a bench has given divergent opinion, divergent ruling. They are not agreeing to each other. See, GST law is just 4 years and such kind of judgment are going where 2 members are not agreeing with the provision. Even rightly so, I'm not also agreeing. GST was destination-based consumption tax, right? Intermediary, for intermediary place of supply under section 13 subsection 8 clause B of IGST Act is location of supplier. Whereas this intermediary giving services to a foreign recipient, foreign client, getting convertible foreign exchange for India, why it will not be export if GST is a destination-based consumption tax? I'm just creating these example whereby I want to highlight these 4 years we have seen GST, though we all want GST should be good and simple tax, but still a lot of things required to be done. Going further, if you look at ITC, input tax credit, which is soul and backbone of any human being. Like we got soul inside, that is the backbone. Similarly, ITC credit is the soul for any seamless flow of credit. We started with the object clause when 101 Constitution Amendment Act introduced GST in the country. It was stated in the object clause there would be seamless flow of credit across supply chain. Is it so today? We all will agree that seamless flow of credit is missing in GST scenario. Let's take 2-3 examples so that it provides the clarity to all of us together. Section 16, subsection 2, clause C of CGST Act. As a buyer, if you have paid the amount to the supplier and supplier has not deposited, whether credit can be denied in the hands of recipient and buyer who is not at all at any fault. You paid, as a buyer, you paid the amount to the supplier, supplier defaulted. Why credit would be denied in the hands of buyer? And the challenge was, even buyer was not aware of that this tax which is being paid to the supplier has not deposited, because GSTR 2A came sometime in the beginning of 2019. So prior to 2A, GSTR 2A, none was aware of, neither the tax department nor the buyer, that this supplier, even after collecting the tax, has not deposited. How you can penalize? And there's one legal maxim, non lex cogit ad impossibilia. What does it mean? You cannot compel a person, which is impossible. So in such case, when GSTR 2A was not available, how you can penalize the recipient? And recently, Madras High Court, in the case of DY Bethel Enterprises, has held that unless investigation and inquiry initiated against defaulting supplier, you cannot demand tax from the recipient and buyer. Coming to the second point, there's something called GSTR 2A or 2B for availing credit. Is it as per the provision of the law? To my mind, in my humble opinion, no relevance. I can give the example to you. Let's say I'm a supplier in Delhi and you all are my buyer in Maharashtra. If I've supplied the goods, then I must have charged IGST as interstate supply. Now what happened if I have wrongly mentioned Gstin number as against your number? Is it going to be reflected in your GSTR 2A or 2B? If I'm capturing B2B transaction as a B2C, what happened? It was interstate supply, IGST charge, you're having IGST invoice, but wrongly furnished as a intrastate. Or maybe I furnished GSTR1 coming in your 2A, but I have not paid taxes filing GSTR 3B. Is it possible? Or I filed 3B, paid the taxes, but not shown in my GSTR1. Will not be reflected in your 2A or 2B. And I'm again creating one important clause, subclause AA, going to be introduced under section 16, subsection 2. And as per this subclause AA, what is being stated? The fifth condition, in addition to the four condition. And what is that fifth condition is talking about? Supplier must furnish such invoice and debit note on which you are availing credit in a GSTR1. And when I'm submitting, furnishing in my GSTR1, quite obvious, it is going to be reflected in your 2A or 2B. And I need to communicate to the recipient, supplier need to communicate to the recipient. This clause is yet to be effective. It is prospective clause. If I rely this clause, then meaning coming out that relevance of 2A or 2B does not exist, come to the negative list under section 17, subsection 5. Why there would be negative list, block credit in GST? I'm not being able to understand. To give you an example, if you want your office to be constructed, your factory to be constructed, or mall to be constructed, or hotel to be constructed, You want a hotel to be constructed or mall to be constructed. What is the use of hotel and mall? You are going to let out for commercial purpose on which you will charge GST. So my simple question goes, if you get construction done by a contractor and contractor charging GST, whether that credit is not available. If not available, is it not creating cascading, double taxation, and where the object of seamless flow of credit? You're getting office constructed, factory constructed, for what purpose? For the provision of taxable outward supply. There are certain negative list items like COVID-19 is going on, and during COVID-19, you provide sanitizer, medicine, drugs to your employee concern. Sometimes you provide food and beverages, lunch and dinner to your employee concern. When these are the things provided to employee concern, it is with utmost objective of to ensure that proper fooding is being given to the employee concern. These COVID-19 drugs and medicine which I'm referring to for the health protection of my employee concern. Sometimes we debate sales promotion item versus gift. Let's say if I promise to my distributor and dealer that I will give you a gold coin if you achieve this milestone. So gold coin purchase, GST charge with a credit available. Different divergent advanced ruling coming in and saying that credit is not available. But try to visualize by yourself. This gold coin given to distributor and dealer for what? For achieving the milestone. And that too for the sales promotion in the course of furtherance of business. I'm not giving free gift. Gifts are voluntary in nature, not legally obligated. When I'm promising to my distributor and dealer for achieving milestone, it is legally obligated. There's a difference between sales promotion versus gift item. You can count CSR expenses, corporate social responsibility. There is also a lot of issues. CSR is legally obligated. Can it be equated with a free gift? It cannot be. Because legally obligated, I need to necessarily incur for running of economic activities in the course of furtherance of business. So credit should be available on input and input services, which is being used for CSR expenses, because legally obligated in the course of furtherance of business cannot be equated, cannot be, I'm using the term cannot be equated with a free gift item. So this is a block credit concept. Why there will be block credit concept? Going a step further, export, zero rated supply, two options available. Without payment of IGST, but you get the refund of input and input services. Or you can follow an option of payment of IGST, but one difference between two options available. Capital goods credit is not available when you go without payment of IGST, refund of ITC route. When you go with the payment of IGST route, then credit of capital goods can be utilized for payment of IGST. Hence, disparity exists from day one. Day one. Why this disparity under both the option? And in this Finance Bill 2021, another change, and which is alarming change. Now they are saying that IGST, payment of IGST route is available only to notified supplier, only to notified goods or services, meaning coming out, they are going to curtail export on payment of IGST and going to be restricted only to notified supplier or notified goods or services. So these are the point which is coming out, not giving a breather for good and simple tax. Broader perspective, our GST and common portal, we all are aware of. Law is on one side, but GST and common portal on the other side. Synergy missing sometime. And there's a concept called ticket. Any problem happening on GSTN common portal, you can raise the ticket. But all of you, maximum of you will agree with me that that ticket left out with no resolution. And that ticket is not solving the problem, but within 24 hours, it gets expired automatically. Why such thing? GSTN common portal need to be robust. That is we thought of and envisage. Then only the GST law can be implemented. Otherwise, GST return system, GSTR1, 2A, 2, 1A, and 3. This was envisaged under section 37, 38, 39, 41, 42. Why this robust return system could not be implemented? We were not prepared. So for that reason, this fake invoice and fake credit kind of stuff coming out, and that is because we are not having proper system on GSTN common portal. A lot of glitches I talked about. Going further, there are parallel proceedings. I'm a taxpayer. They're dual levy, central and state, no denial, dual levy. But the objective is I should be reporting to one authority. It may be central, it may be state, but it cannot be both together. They cannot parallelly, come and start investigation and inquiry against me. Not possible. But we are finding actually in a trade that parallel proceedings are going on. In one of my case, which I'm telling you, state started investigation, concluded the investigation, then Center DGGI coming in started investigation on same point and issued the so-called notice. So I do not understand whether they are having synergy communication. Even I'm finding communication between both the authorities sometime missing, and that is creating bottleneck, uneasiness for the taxpayer. So a lot of things today we thought of open house with all members who are joining today. So maybe I've given my initial remarks on GST, but coming on chartered accountant, I would like to say only two important things. We are proud chartered accountant, and we carry responsibility for the nation growth and development, We must ensure that we must deliver our best, whatever way it is possible. We are being recognized by the society. We are being acknowledged and recognition given by none other than our Honorable Prime Minister. Lots of responsibility on our soldier. So we have to justify that this Chartered Accountant Day should be celebrated in a manner where we should feel responsible, committed, dedicated. And either you are doing practice or you are in service. Let's put your best together, whatever best possible from our side. So now we can do some question answer session. Back to Aisna. So Aisna can start, posting your queries, and within half an hour, whatever best possible, we'll try to respond back to your queries. Thanks for listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the incredible session, sir. So we have got a lot of queries. So first we can start with the career ones.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. So we have received a query. I have cleared CA recently, but I don't have much practical exposure. Due to financial issues, I can't leave my current job that doesn't offer much exposure. What should I do?
This question is very, very important, and let me answer. Career versus salary. Sometimes we are having financial crunch, financial crisis at family end. We join a job or pick up an opportunity where we are not getting career. If you ask me honestly, I will look at career as first option, then salary. I do agree salary is the need. I'm not denying that. See, if financial crisis was there, Aisna, then it was continuing. Maybe we can take 2-3 years of beginning. When you pass out and pick up career, you should always look at career so that you can build your career. And after 2-3 years, maybe struggling for you from financial perspective, but after 3 years, which I'm referring to, you will have your own career, and that career will pay you in multiplicity. It is going to be multiply rather than addition. So there are two factors you need to understand. There's a increment which is goes by way of addition, and there's something which goes by multiplication. If you build your career, maybe 2-3 years challenges, but then you are helping yourself by multiplying what you are getting on X date. It's a choice, I know that, but your situation who have asked this query, he has to sit down or she has to sit down and make up his or her mind. Let's take challenge for 3 more years. Look for the career, where I get the career. That would be my submission. And I'm telling you from my own experience. It's not like that I'm telling you for the sake of saying. It's my own experience in my life, in my career. I have chosen career over and above the salary. Salary, I know financial need, but sometimes we have to really agree for something bigger on a long-term perspective. Salary can give you the satisfaction on short term, but will not give you the career. And by the time you leave your career aside, then maybe you will be out of your passion and the love on the topic and subject matter. So look for the career. That would be my submission.
We have another question. What are my options of working abroad if I do CA? Will it be better if I pursue CPA instead?
See, when you're looking for the opportunities outside India, there are a lot of opportunities exist. I'm not going to tell you a particular discipline where you should try and look at. You first look at which subject you have love and passion. So do not ask anyone which opportunity, because opportunity sometimes being is asked how much salary I would be drawing from that opportunity. Do not judge like that. If you love some subject matter, like I'm loving GST, my fragrance is GST. So I don't look at the money part when I join GST or indirect taxes. Money is now following because I'm practicing in excellent way, I must say. That's the reason money is following me. My simple answer to all of you would be, you should pick the subject which you like most. Money will follow. And do not get into judgmental way that what are the opportunities and how much I can draw. Please, that will not help you. Just sit down peacefully, cool and calm, and decide silently inside which subject matter. Is it taxation? Is it finance? Is it banking? Is it insurance? Is it merchant banking? Many opportunities under commerce field. Just sit down, relax, cool off. If you are not able to decide by yourself, sit down with some counselor and discuss with him. This is what you're liking most. This is what you're looking country as your position. And this is what you wanted to do over a period of time, maybe 5 years spin or maybe 10 years spin. And that is the way you must build your career.
So another question is that, sir, my family is not financially strong, but I want to do CA. Can you please share some tips on how I can do CA without coaching?
Very good question. I do not know the name of that particular participants.
Pratibha has asked the question.
Okay, Pratibha, if you're watching me, let me tell you, when I was doing my chartered accountancy, and this is public platform, I'm telling you on public platform, when I was doing my chartered accountancy, I was also not having enough financial resources. I can't afford to take tuition, What I did, I'm giving you my example, and this is the honest fact which I'm sharing today. I was giving tuition, earning some money, and that money I was paying to the teacher. From that teacher, I was taking tuition, and I was not taking tuition for all subject. Only I've highlighted which subject I need to get tuition. For that, I need to have money. So money is being earned by giving tuition to other student of class 10, class 12 and BCom. And that is how I manage my study of chartered accountancy. Believe me, honest fact I'm telling you. It's not like that I'm telling you something which I have not followed in my life. I can tell you one thing. Even without tuition, it is doable. Doable. Believe me, doable. Nothing is impossible in this world. I always believe impossible also says, I am possible. Believe me, you have to just believe in yourself, strengthen your mind, decide that this is what you're looking for. If you're not having enough resources, financial resources, maybe the alternative which I have chosen in my career, you can look at that option as well, that giving tuition to become a student or plus 12 student, earning some money and taking tuition of only that subject where you have a fear in a mind. But otherwise, which you learn by yourself, you learn at best. That is my theme and tagline.
Another question is that I have cleared CA. Now I want to start my own practice. But I wanted to ask, how can I start my own practice with minimum investment?
Very simple. Very, very simple. No investment required in our profession. You just need table and chair, laptop. And laptop is the utmost necessity as on date. Now, during COVID-19, physical meetings are not happening. Everything happening on laptop. I can tell you, when you're starting your practice, I do agree that you will not get client initially. I do agree. What you should do, you pick up the subject where you want to excel yourself and start writing article. And that article must get published on different website. So the prospective client will come to know that you are the person who is writing on this topic. Speak, give deliberation on the topic slowly and slowly. I'm not saying that you should go and start giving deliberation for 2 hours. No, take 15 minutes slot from someone, speak on the point. When you're doing all these activity, you will learn thoroughly in that subject matter. And once those who are watching you, they will come to know, okay, Mr. Amit is doing like so and so, Mr. Bimal is doing like so and so. And they will start slowly and slowly approaching you to make it more further. Initially start giving little FOC services, free of cost services, so that they get used to with you, with your services. And once they are satisfied, rest assured, they will remain with you and they will pay you the money. I know starting career, and just to give my own example, when I left job, settled job, I passed in May 1994. May 1994. Till 2008, I was working in the industry. When I left industry, the same fear was there in my mind. What happened? Where from I will get the client? I'm getting fixed chunk of money as a all India head taxation, LG Electronics. This money will go away. And I'm starting my own practice. But I thought of inside me, Bimal, we have to do something different. Naukri is Naukri. Naukri is Naukri. That's what I thought. And then I started, no, let me try out 2 years or 3 years with my career perspective. I left everything aside. Fortunate part was that I was having financial resources at the time when I left job and started my practice. But 2-3 years still struggling. And during this struggling phase, I have put in my best efforts to demonstrate to my prospective client and customer, yes, I can serve to you and they can rely on me. And that has worked out. And today I'm in front of you. Challenges, no denial to it. Challenge will remain, but we have to take challenges, and opportunity comes from the obstacle. Please believe it. Opportunity comes from obstacle. When you feel like that something is not visible, I think opportunity is there inside. Just you have to go Go inside. Do not stop. Sometimes we stop in between and then start thinking other way around. No, no, decide. If you decide that you want to achieve X, Y, Z, please go for X, Y, Z and give your best. That should be my answer.
So we actually have a similar question, and this person has asked that, sir, this is not related to CA, but I would like to know that in general, which is better for your career growth, own business or job?
This is very selective question. Aisna, this question is counted to you. Can I pose this query to you? Which one you like most, job or practice? You cannot. I can tell you, uh, everyone has got their own need and their way to look at. Job gives certainty of 7th of next month, SMS will come. Job gives this kind of satisfaction, but practice gives other kind of satisfaction. I used to tell my team that if I want to go for bigger firm as on date, I will get lot of opportunity. I'm not going there because I'm enjoying my own name, my own wisdom, my own prosperity, which is there in the market. So something when you want to create for yourself, of course, the objective would be practicing your own business. Therein you can do whatever you want to do. You'd be king of your own kingdom. None can stop you. But when you're in a job, there are a lot many ABC around you, and you have to listen to them. You have to act accordingly to them. And sometimes you will not get free space to work on. So my answer would be your will, your objective, your way to look at the career is important. But to my mind, in my humble opinion, always own its own, mera hai. None can take away. None can take away. I can enjoy the way I want to enjoy myself. But when we are under other party, job is like with a lot of conditions, criteria, and situations, circumstances, and we have to behave within those conditions. But own business, you can make whatever you want to do. You can work 24/7. When you're working 24/7, you're building for yourself. Advantage is building for yourself, and that will get multiplied. I said, job is addition. You will get increment plus maybe 20%, maybe 30%, maybe 40%. But own business is the multiplication. Maybe from 100 you can reach to 1,000. None can stop you. So to me, if you ask, in my humble opinion, own business is the own business and must be to my satisfaction. Maybe 15 minutes, Aishna, we can take GST queries also.
Yes.
So we have given some career perspective. We got certain queries in a chat box pertaining to GST. So maybe 15 minutes more for GST queries.
Yes, sir, definitely. So we'll be taking up the GST queries now. First one is by Pankaj. Can we claim input of RCM tax being paid in current date pertaining to services availed from registered transporter in financial year 18-19 and 19-20? And what would be the treatment of such services in GSTR 9 of financial year 18-19 and 19-20?
My simple answer, if it is registered supplier and RCM applicable, then registered supplier must have raised the invoice, which is chargeable under RCM method. So for availing credit as per section 16, subsection 4, time limit has expired for 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20 expired. Had it been unregistered supplier and RCM applicable, I could have argued on the basis of self-invoice, which is generated by the recipient only. So of 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, self-invoice can be generated now. Only problem would be you have not followed the procedure, so general penalty would be leviable. So if self-invoice generated now, then it will not bar under section 16, subsection 4. But registered supplier, RCM applicable, then invoice may come in a trap of section 16 subsection 4. This was the one part of the story. Second part of the story, time of supply. If you are paying now, you have to pay along with interest, because TOS, time of supply, must have already arisen. If it is services, then it is earliest of the two. Date of payment or date following the end of 60 days from date of invoice already arisen, you have to pay along with interest. Interest rate is 18% per annum. 18% per annum. So interest credit is not available. But if at all I want to debate section 16 subsection 4, we can very well debate whether 3B, GST or 3B is a return under section 39. We can debate. And we can say last date would be due date of furnishing annual return. So these are the legal debate and divergent perspective for RCM liability of 17, 18, 18, 19 paid now, from unregistered supplier versus registered supplier, and how to show in GSTR 9 and 9C. So if at all you are picking up the liability, then liability need to be shown in table 4 and paid through table 9. RCM to be paid in cash compulsorily. You cannot use your credit account. That is what you can account for. So this is the answer within the short time frame, but this topic is of 1 hour minimum to deliver. But within short time, whatever best I could deliver from all corners, I given the answer to you.
As per provisions of Finance Act 2020 related to GST with effect from 1st January 2021, time limit for availing ITC with respect to the debit note would be linked with the date of debit note and not the date of invoice. Hence, please advise whether ITC allowed pertains to debit note raised now or in relation to financial year 1920.
There's a divergent advance ruling, and you can go back to our website, our A to Z website. We have created one article. That article is available, and we have discussed that advance ruling which is given by Gujarat Advance Ruling Authority contrary. My reading of this amendment H, debit note to be read with the date when it is being raised. It should not be related to the invoice of the past period. For that reason, this amendment was done. This was the objective. In my humble opinion, it's a date of debit note which is relevant for availing credit and satisfying the criteria of section 16 subsection 4 of CGST Act. Advance ruling which has come, it is contrary, and I'm not agreeing with that advance ruling, that correct, because that correct proposition they have not picked up as it was supposed to be. So in my humble opinion, date of debit note is relevant and it is being de-linked with the invoices of the past period.
Another question is, sir, please discuss about reverse charge mechanism.
Okay, a little bit on RCM. See, to the chargeable section, section 9 subsection 1 under CGST Act, section 5 subsection 1 under IGST Act, chargeable section. The GST leviable on supply of goods or services. GST normally and generally on forward charge. Supplier need to charge unless otherwise specified for notified goods or services under section 9 subsection 3 of CGST Act, under section 5 subsection 3 of IGST Act. And notified goods or services, there is notification. When you want to look at notified goods under RCM, where recipient need to pay GST. So notified goods, notification number is 4/2017. And services 13/2017. These are notification for notified goods or services. Subsequently, 9 subsection 4 It is for only specified builders as on date from 1st April 2019. So what is the RCM? RCM means it is service recipient who will discharge the GST liability as against generally accepted principle of GST to be charged by supplier of goods or services. This is the RCM liability. And for RCM, you need to go back to time of supply provision, and you need to look at when to pay and when to avail credit, different perspective altogether. But recipient is chargeable, recipient need to pay, that is RCM.
Another question we have is in GST invoices of financial year 2018, 19 and 1920, we had wrongly entered some GSTIN in R1, but now we are unable to amend those on portal. Kindly guide how can I change GSTIN on portal?
See, portal there comes with a time lag, amendment can be done. That is not open-ended. You cannot carry on amending the transaction. What you can do, if you could not amend the same, then there would be differences between GSTR1 and GSTR3B. You may have paid correct taxes in 3B, but wrongly shown in GSTR1, which you could not correct because time period has got expired. My only submission and answer to you would be that 9 and 9C you could have corrected. You could have picked up the actual amount which is supposed to be as per GSTR 3B. If you have missed correcting the same in GSTR 9 and 9C, I will suggest you keep this difference as a reconciliation and intimate to the authority that this is wrongly mentioned in GSTR 1 but should not have been done. I could have amended, but time got expired. I could have shown correction in 9 and 9C, could not do that. Now I'm intimating bona fidely this transaction was wrongly mentioned in my R1, but not real transaction, actual transaction. That is how we can, correct as on date. Keeping that intimation to the authority, take acknowledgement from the department that I have intimated to them.
So we will be taking up the last question now.
Yes.
And the question is, sir, can composition dealer buy goods from unregistered dealer and should not have to follow RCM rules?
See, this provision got changed from 13th of October 2017. So registered recipient taking from unregistered supplier, it is being done away with from 13th October 2017. So it is only applicable under section 9 subsection 4 only for the builder. Only for the builder community when they purchase from unregistered supplier. So as on date, this provision is not applicable.
We will be ending the session here now. So thank you so much, sir, for the session and for celebrating CA Day and GST Day with us. And also for all the participants, sir also has an online advanced GST training and certification course with us, and wherein you can learn all about GST. And I have seen many queries, so all those queries can be answered. You can learn from sir. So, and it also includes the Union Budget 2021 updates. So if you are interested in the course, I have put the link in the chat box and you can check it out as per your convenience. And once again, sir, thank you so much for the session and happy GST and GST Day.
I'm also thanking each one of you. I'm also thanking ISNA CA Club India team for organizing this program today on GST Day and CA Day. Thanking each one of you. You enjoy your day, but as I said, a lot of responsibility on us being chartered accountant. Do your best, whatever best you could do in your career. Leaving aside job or practice, but individually we can do and contribute whatever best we can do from our side. Let's keep in touch. You can always, be in touch with Bimal Jain through social connect like Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. You can subscribe to those channels and get regular GST update. And believe me, I'm doing free of cost. So my CSR goes free of cost to all of you. And I wish I can be of any assistance to you, whatever way it is possible from my side. Thanking each one of you once again and Team CA Club India. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank